The present simple tense. We know that we use the present simple tense to talk about habits and routines. The things that we do on a regular basis, we usually use the present simple tense to express. So, because we use the adverbs of frequency to show how many times an action is repeated, and this action happens regularly, so we use the present simple tense. When we talk about things that happen on a regular basis or our habits and routines, we use the present simple tense. The form of the present simple. When the sentence starts with a plural subject, I, we, you, they, or a plural noun, we place the verb without adding anything. So we use the verb in the infinitive or the basic form without adding anything to it with I, we, you, they, and the plural subject. And if the sentence starts with a singular subject, he, she, it, or a singular noun, we add an S, ES, or IES to the verb. For example, I always walk to school. So we use I, walk. I plus the verb without adding anything. They usually travel to Paris in the summer. So they travel. They travel. I walk. They travel. We sometimes go to the cinema. Again, we is a plural subject, so it goes with the verb in the infinitive form without adding S. You always help your friends. You help. You help. He never gets up early. He is a singular subject, so we added S to the verb. Aya visits her grandparents twice a week. Aya visits her grandparents twice a week. So Aya is a singular subject, so we added S to the verb. So how do we put these sentences in negative? In order to make a negative sentence in the present simple tense, if the sentence starts with he, she, it, or a singular subject, we use doesn't plus the infinitive form of the verb. And if the sentence starts with I, we, you, they, or a plural subject, we use don't plus the infinitive form of the verb. So let's try it. I always walk to school. How do we put this sentence in negative? It goes with don't. So we say, I don't walk to school. They usually travel to Paris in the summer. So they don't, yes, they don't usually travel to Paris in the summer. They don't usually travel to Paris in the summer. You always help your friends. You don't help your friends. We go to the beach every summer. We don't go to the beach every summer. He gets up early. He doesn't get up early. Aya visits her grandparents twice a week. Aya doesn't visit her grandparents twice a week. She studies English every day. She doesn't study English every day. Okay. Now let's study how do we make a question in the present simple? We have two types of questions. Interrogative, it means the questions. We have two types of questions, yes or no questions and the WH questions. Now we will start with the yes or no questions. We use do or does plus subject plus infinitive. So yes, do goes with the plural subject, I, we, you, and they. Does goes with the singular subject, he, she, it, and the singular subject we said. Do you usually go to school by bus? Okay, how do I answer this question? If the question starts with a helping verb, we answer with a yes or no, and then we make a cross between the subject and the infinitive, the subject and the helping verb, sorry. So we make a cross between the subject and the helping verb. Do you usually go to school by bus? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does Sarah like English? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Now, the WH questions. The WH question is formed like this. Question word, do or does, subject plus infinitive. For example, how do you go to school? Question word, do or does, you. So you goes with do. How do you plus the infinitive form of the verb and the complement of the question. I go to school by bus. When does Nada come home? We will remove the question word, remove the do or does, and start with the subject. Here, you changes into I, because when I speak to you, I say you, and when you speak about yourself, you say I. So again, let's do it again. We remove the when, remove the does, and start with Nada or she. Gets, because we removed does, so the verb gets to its initial form. Gets home at 6 o'clock. Let's try to answer these questions. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. Aya always makes making delicious cakes. Let's look at the subject. Always means that this is a present simple tense. So singular subject goes with verb plus S. So Aya makes delicious cakes. Number 2. My best friend and I living in the same neighborhood. My best friend and I are plural subject. So we choose the verb without adding S. My best friend and I live in the same neighborhood. Number 3. We usually studies English in the afternoon. We usually means that the action is repeated or that this is a present simple tense. So we look at the subject. We is a plural subject and it goes with the verb without adding anything, without adding S. So we use study. Number 4. They sometimes running at the track. Again, sometimes means that the action is repeated, so we use the present simple to express that, repeated actions or habits, routines. So we look at the subject, the plural subject, they goes with the verb without adding S. So we say they sometimes run at the track. Number 5, I always trying to do my best. Okay, I goes with try, verb without adding S.